The following is a presentation of Flow Sports.
It's time to double down. It's time to raise the stakes. And it is time to go all in with the High Limit Sprint Car Series. This is the High Limit Room. It's the home of 24 high rollers. We are green. Interstate Batteries High Limit Racing kicked the season off in a big way here one night ago for the Sugar Bee Blackjack Bash here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway Dirt Track. And now on this Friday, the 13th edition of this FloRacing broadcast, we are ready to do it all over again here in Las Vegas, Nevada, the perfect place for High Limit Racing to kick off its 2026 season. Last night's race ended in a photo finish between Kyle Larson and Corey Day, the teammates for Hendrick Cars. Over on the NASCAR side of things, 96 one-thousandths of a second was the finish at the line there. That was the third closest finish in the history of the series, with Giovanni Scelzi not too far behind there in that third position. And now we do it all over again here tonight for night number 2 of the Sugar Bee Blackjack Bash. My name is Chase Rodman. Thank you so much for joining us here at the racetrack, as well as watching on FloRacing, of course. We've got a really good program for you here tonight. 35 wing sprint cars, another 20 or so when it comes to the USCS non-wing cars as well. The best of both worlds, wing and non-wing sprint cars on the same racetrack at the same time. We're ready to get after it here tonight on the half mile here in the desert. Thank you all once again so much for joining us. Here is a look at the weather forecast. I think I might be sunburnt after the last couple of days, and I'm not so sure about that weather forecast we've got here on Flow, because there are not many clouds in the sky. It says broken clouds. Okay, there's a few floating around here, but it is pretty hot. 82 degrees, 4-mile-per-hour winds, and like I said, I am definitely going to be tan by the time that this trip is over. Let's take a look at the order of events, what you'll be seeing on the racetrack here tonight, and in what order, of course. High Limit will kick things off tonight as opposed to yesterday, with hot laps and qualifying back-to-back there to start things off. Then the USCS sprint cars will come out for group qualifying and hot laps at the same time. Following that, it will be opening ceremonies, which is scheduled about 5:15 here tonight, about 7 o'clock, sorry. And then we'll have High Limit Racing heat races, the USCS heat races, a High Limit Dash, High Limit B-Main, the feature for High Limit, and then the USCS sprint cars, much like they did last night, will be the nightcap to finish things off here for the Sugar Bee Blackjack Bash on night number 2. Here are the track facts. What you need to know about the Las Vegas Motor Speedway Dirt Track. It opened here back in 1996. We mentioned it's a half-mile oval with 10 degrees approximately of banking, and the track record was set here back on March 4th of 2004 by Danny Lasowski. The dude turned a lap time of 13.714 seconds, and yesterday in qualifying, we were down to the high 14s, so we were well over a second, I believe, off the pace, or close to it, of that track record from one night ago. There is Brad Sweet, of course, in his new role. Not much of a driver anymore, more of a part-time driver, but the co-owner of High Limit Racing has been busy here the last couple of days, making sure everything is going to go off with a hitch, or without a hitch, I should say, as there is Kyle Larson on your screen, last night's feature winner. And we'll jump into one of our favorite sections here, and we're looking at the odds of the winners here tonight, which is always fun to take a look at. We know that Corey Day, Kyle Larson, right, those are going to be some of the guys that are the favorites here this evening. Also, Aaron Reitzel is up there at plus 345. And then a couple of longer shots. Tyler Courtney back there. Giovanni Scelzi, who led 17 laps here one night ago, is at plus 1,500, which means a $10 bet would net you $150. But the Rodman risk, and he ran 4th here yesterday, was running 2nd for a long time. I am going with the Myerstown missile, Brent Marks. A $10 wager on Marks, if he was able to win the race tonight, would net you $280. If you would like to get in on the action, go to nxtbets.com/playhlr, and you can find out which sports books are available in your region. when I say that, I mean there's a couple of different regions around the country where you can either do the DFS, the better or worse as far as finish position, or you can do the outright winners. There's a lot of different things going on, so you need to go to that website to check out where you are able to wager at when it comes to Interstate Batteries High Limit Racing. Cars are coming on the racetrack now for engine heat. Get a little heat under the hood. They're going to kind of pack the racetrack in a little bit as well. We saw Brad Sweet making some laps around. Man, Tony Laporta, he has been a very busy guy here the last 2 days, and even before that, making sure this racetrack is in good shape. And I'll tell you what, he did a fantastic job last night. He and Scott Woodhouse and everybody else here had the track in tip-top shape and then delivered a very, very close finish at the end.
Brad's brother-in-law, Chuck, also here helping out with track prep, and I'm delighted to see a little bit less moisture in the track. I think that's aided by the fact the ambient temperature down a little bit, but you were right, man. We're going to leave this opening swing to Interstate Batteries High Limit Racing with tans. That is for sure. You know who else was busy last night? Tanner Thorson, the driver for Rod Gross Motorsports, recorded his best ever finish on a track this size. Tanner started the feature last night 4th, and after 25 laps of green flag racing that saw no pause for yellow or red flags, Thorson, the Minden, Nevada native, now living in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, came home with a top 5 finish again for a track this big. Vegas right at or just beneath a half of a mile in circumference. Top 5 here last night. Thorson's best ever finish. A little while ago in the pit area, I got to catch up with him to find out how that happened.
Tanner Thorson, strong result on night number 1 of Interstate Batteries High Limit Racing. A top 5 finish. Your best ever on a track this size, right?
Yeah, definitely. Best, I'd say, start to finish too. From hot laps to qualifying, heat race, dash, main, it's just everything clicked. So looking forward to the next couple nights. I feel like we got a pretty strong package to start the night off tonight, and yeah, just I've said it before. It's just these bigger tracks aren't just a driver. It's your race car's got to be really good, and I feel like our car's really good.
Well, your race car's really good, I'm sure you would say, in large part due to the guy we just shot a longer interview with. Hopefully it's already up on our social media by now. We'll try to play it later in the night if we have some time. Your father-in-law, Stevie Smith, he's off the porch, according to you, and he's on the wrenches here in the sunshine in Vegas. How nice is it having Stevie here?
Yeah, it's really nice, honestly. Like I said before, I've said it 1,000 times, you got to have a guy that knows everything about the race car, all the mechanics of it and everything. And I try my best, obviously, to learn everything I can and everything, but he's taught me so much in the last year and a half about race cars. And what better weekend to have him come out to a half mile and a 3-day show to get 3 nights back to back at the same track. And yeah, he's a Hall of Famer for a reason. So I'm very satisfied with, obviously, I didn't really give him the option to be the crew chief. It was just more of a, hey, like, you're gonna start helping me and you're doing this sort of deal, and without saying it, obviously, but yeah, it's just, he's raced them, he's set them up, he's built his own cars, he's done it, he's built his own motors, so he knows everything basically, and he's just been sitting out home on the couch, doing research and working on it from home, and it was good to just finally get him out here.
Tanner Thorson off to a fantastic start here after night 1 in 2026.
Really cool to talk to Tanner Thorson there in the pit area for just a few moments. In the background, at least at the start of that interview, you could see Stevie Smith. I think we referenced it in that interview right before I spoke to Tanner Chase. We got a 5-minute plus long interview with Stevie Smith, Tanner's father-in-law, owner of Smith Titanium, a legend in the world of sprint car racing. And Stevie told you and I a few weeks ago on the High Limit Room, Chase, that, Tanner told you and I on the High Limit Room that Stevie was going to be here and how much he was looking forward to that. It's a really cool conversation I got to have with Stevie Smith. We're going to try to work that into the broadcast later tonight, but if you head over to High Limit Racing on X, formerly Twitter, you can watch that whole interview as it's just been uploaded. But Chase, right out of the gate for Tanner Thorson, I know you and Brian Walker and I all had high hopes for that program. They've stepped it up in several different ways. Pretty cool to see Tanner come out of the box so strong last night, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to mention to you, Tony, last night was the 90th start of Tanner Thorson's career against High Limit Racing, and you talked about it right before throwing that interview. That was the first top 5 on a half mile for Thorson in those 90 starts. So very impressive to kick off the year like that, and we knew that the big track track going into the season were going to be a problem for him, but it looks like that may not be an issue here in 2026.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that just comes from a lot of gained confidence. 2 wins in feature competition last year. He had either, I think it was like a 9th at the final night of the Tuscarora 50 in Port Royal, or no, I think that was the spring trip. Either way, one of our trips out to the big half mile, the Speed Palace in Port Royal, Pennsylvania, Tanner had a really good run, and that's what kicked off a strong summer for him. So to have Stevie here, he's back with TJ, he's back with Britton Marvel. TJ Nichols and Britton Marvel on that car worked so hard. And another thing Tanner talked about in that high limit room interview with us a few weeks ago is just how good those guys, Britton and TJ, are now at just knowing their roles, doing their jobs. And to have Stevie here, I mean, it adds a lot of added knowledge with him being able to see the car and touch the car and have that constant feedback. But you got to think it's just a confidence boost for Tanner. So much of this sport is mental, and you know he's just got to feel better knowing that his father-in-law and such an accomplished race car driver, Stevie Smith, is here with him.
Yeah, it's exciting, and we're really looking forward to seeing what that team will do this year. They've got a fresh wrap on their trailer. They got a new wrap, obviously, on their car as well. And so Tanner Thorson is going to be one to watch for through 2026 as we see cars continue to circle the Speedway. Once again, engine heat underway and wheel pack at the same time. Out here, we're in the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, for night number 2 of the Sugar Bee Blackjack Bash here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway dirt track. And Gary Thomas also up here in the booth along with us. He will be announcing the USCS sprint cars, but don't be fooled. He is an expert when it comes to the wing sprint cars, especially on the West Coast, as he is the voice of the Placerville Speedway Sprint Car Challenge Tour, a couple of NARC races throughout the year as well. GT, a fantastic race here last night. The track took a while to get there, but once it did, it delivered for these fans that came out and watched.
Yeah, that was just a fantastic show overall, Chase. It was a pleasure to be up here with you last night, and I mean, 25 laps nonstop for the wing sprints. Non-wing sprints had a good solid feature. I know had a couple of friends actually drove from Utah after watching last night. They said, wow, that was such a great show that we're going to drive over to Las Vegas and catch that night 2 of the Blackjack Bash. So hopefully we'll be in for more of the same tonight.
Yeah, that's, I don't know how far a drive is from Utah, but that's a pretty big commitment to come all the way down here, and hopefully they stay for tomorrow night as well. We're hoping to have a really, really good night once again here as things continue on. We've got more drivers out there making their way on the track for engine heat. A couple are pulling off, so we're getting closer and closer to hot laps, but we did want to show you, in case you missed it somehow, there was a lot of buzz on social media over the finish of last night's Sugar Bee Blackjack Bash. We are green. First feature of 2026 is underway, and it's going to be Giovanni Scelzi with the early race lead. Goes around the outside of Brent Marks to have that spot side by side back behind for 5th between Ryan Timms and Kyle Larson. Timms up the racetrack, takes it away from Larson. Now they're both on the back bumper of Corey Day down the front straightaway. Meanwhile, change for second, move Tanner Thorson up to the runner-up position. Tanner Thorson is up to second, getting by Brent Marks down the back straightaway. Corey Day sits in 4th. Now Kyle Larson has gotten by the 10 of Ryan Timms as Giovanni Scelzi comes across the line. He'll lead lap number 2. 23 to go as Marks is now back on the rear bumper of Tanner Thorson. Thorson runs the bottom, gets to the cushion on the edge of the turn number 2. Big run out of Marks down the back straightaway. Marks looks to the inside. Here's a slider for the second spot. Move the Myerstown missile up to second. Tanner Thorson back to the inside. He'll take it back away across the line. Good race going on for the runner-up position. Meanwhile, Giovanni Scelzi trying to run away and hide. Corey Day is closing in on 2nd and 3rd. Corey Day on the back straightaway trying to track down Brent Marks and Tanner Thorson. Marks up the racetrack. Another slider for second. Tanner Thorson back to the inside. Once again, Thorson has it at the start-finish line. Tanner Thorson back into second. Meanwhile, this is allowing Corey Day to close in slightly for that battle for 3rd. Brent Marks back by Tanner Thorson down the back straightaway. What a battle for second. Tanner Thorson back to the inside, slider on Brent Marks off at turn number 4. Marks crosses him up, takes it away at the start-finish line. Here comes Corey Day underneath of Tanner Thorson. They go side by side for 3rd. Off at turn number 2, Corey Day's got 3rd. Corey Day, the winner of last year's race here in Las Vegas, is now on the bottom step of the podium and closing in on Brent Marks. Kyle Larson is closing in on your top 3. Giovanni Scelzi's gotten by Brenham Crouch. He's gotten by Tanner Carrick. 2 lap cars between himself and the 19 of Brent Marks. Corey Day around the bottom. Here comes Larson to the outside. They're going to go side by side for 3rd down the back straightaway. Corey Day squeaks away just a little bit down the backstretch. Going into turn 3, Larson has the cushion wired, and around the outside comes the Silver Motorsports number 57. Tanner Thorson still inside the top 5. He's sitting right behind this battle for a second as Kyle Larson's gotten by Corey Day and now working on Brent Marks down the backstretch. Marks goes down low, trying to get up by the slower car of Tanner Carrick. He will do just that in turn number 4. Slide the racetrack. Here comes Kyle Larson to the inside. Larson takes second across the line. Kyle Larson now into second as we near the halfway point of this race. 12 laps in, this time by and 13 to go for Giovanni Scelzi. This time by 9 laps to go. This race is far from over as Corey Day's trying to get in the mix as well. Kyle Larson to the inside, looking for a new race leader in turn number 1. Kyle Larson up the racetrack, they get very close. Scelzi hangs on to the top spot. Giovanni Scelzi still has the race lead, but now he knows that Kyle Larson is right there with him. Larson tries to circle the bottom, pulls up next to Scelzi. Scelzi still has the race lead. Now Larson with a short slider into turn 1. Kyle Larson takes the lead in turn number 2. Giovanni Scelzi back to the inside. They go side by side down the back straightaway. Scelzi's going to make that Larson going to try and protect the bottom. He'll slide himself in turns 3 and 4. Gets up over the cushion a little bit right there. Scelzi's still right there. Here comes Corey Day. 3-car battle for the race lead shaping up here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Corey Day to the inside of Scelzi. He'll take second down the back straightaway. Corey Day's got second and within 5 car lengths of Kyle Larson. Larson around the bottom. Corey Day on the top. This time by, there will be 7. Make that 6 laps to go at Las Vegas. Larson with heavy lap traffic right in front of him. Hunter Schoenberg, Danny Sams, and one other car are impeding the progress on the 57 car. Kyle Larson going to go to the bottom as he's got 1 car on his outside. That is Hunter Schoenberg, as it looks like he'll get by 2 cars in one fell swoop right there. Kyle Larson getting by Danny Sams and Hunter Schoenberg. Corey Day going to have to try and do the same. He'll get by Sams, but not able to get by Schoenberg. Kyle Larson trying to run the bottom in turns number 3 and 4. Corey Day has the cushion wired off the 4th corner. We'll check the lap times this time. A 16.5 for Larson, a 16.5 for Day. Larson held up by Chase Randall. Here comes Corey Day down the back straightaway. Corey Day within 3 car lengths, and Scelzi's right there as well. Scelzi's not out of the picture. This time by, gonna be 2 laps to go at Las Vegas Motor Speedway dirt track. Kyle Larson to the top in turn 1. Corey Day pulls up next to him, lets him know he's right there. The white flag is out, 1 lap to go. Down the back straightaway. Who's it going to be at the line? Kyle Larson at the bottom, Day to the outside. It's going to be a drag race to the line. It'll be Larson at the line. Kyle Larson wins the Sugar Bee Blackjack Bash. Corey Day second. 96 1/1000ths of a second at the line between Kyle Larson and Corey Day here 1 night ago, and we'll see who comes out on top here on night number 2 of the Sugar Bee Blackjack Bash with Interstate Batteries High Limit Racing. And there is a look at the drag strip here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. This is a massive complex GT. They got the drag strip, of course they've got the 1.5 NASCAR track, they got the dirt track, they've got the bull ring over there as well, where my dad won a couple of races, and I spent a lot of time there as well. But man, this is just a huge facility and a great place to come to open the season. It is really a beautiful place. It took me down Las Vegas Boulevard, I think it was, so I basically drove through the entire compound and zigzagged my way around here to try to figure out how to get back into the dirt track. There's different gates and stuff you take, but yeah, this is a first-class facility all around, and it's a bucket list weekend if you're a motorsports aficionado with obviously sprint cars and then stock cars, you know, tomorrow and Sunday. So, yeah, it's a fun week, and you're in Las Vegas, so what more can you love? And it's not a bad backdrop either, huh? No, everywhere you look, you either got some mountains over to the left, mountains out towards the back stretch, and then if you look behind the grandstands, of course, you could see the strip back there and all the skyscrapers and whatnot. So just a great place to come and open up the season. Great weather. Last year, the weather not exactly the best, but luckily Mother Nature is cooperating with us right now. Last night, Brady Bacon, winner of the USCS Sprint Car. It was a pretty good race up front between him and Charles Davis Jr. Ryan Brunell got up there as well. Eddie Tafoya was I think leading that race for a minute, right? Yeah, it was a really good nightcap of multiple lead changes, and we believe we have 24 cars coming back. All the top dogs are returning, and we had our buddy Kulo over there that went through the fence. He's actually back tonight. They drove all the way to Arizona, about 9 hours, got another car, and put that baby together in the pit area, so he's back to tame the beast here tonight too. Yeah. Illinois, he got his own wall put in here at the racetrack as they have made some interesting additions to the racetrack outside of turn number 4 here tonight. I'm sure many of you saw the clip of him flipping out of the park here last night at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. There's that wall. That wall, you pointed out to me before we went on the air. He's like, was that wall there last night? No, it was not.
Nope.
That is the Illinois wall. Yeah. We just made that name up right now, but it is there because of what took place last night with him.
And he did run Chili Bowl. I talked to him out there. I said, me and Chase were talking up there, and he said he ran it a couple times, I think, or maybe 3 times. And I think he said he flipped twice. So
he did.
But he enjoyed it. No,
I remember I went to it was Saturday morning. I can't remember what main, maybe the Q main or whatever it was, and I remember old Illinois getting upside down. And turn 1, I think he kind of went outside the part where the trucks pull on the track. It was a big one. But
did you get there early, right as soon as the first main event back in the day?
That year I did.
Wow.
Normally I don't. Normally that's not my. I'm usually sleeping until 11, 12 or whatever it is. But that day, you have to do it once.
You do. It's an experience. I mean, you definitely get your money's worth if you get there at, they start 9 a.m. or something like that.
It is one of the best tickets in all of racing, just to go to the morning time of the Chili Bowl all the way to the nightcap as well. But all the cars are making their way off the racetrack. We're going to take a break here on Flow. When we come back, it will be time for hot lap action here with Interstate Batteries Highland Racing in Las Vegas. You are watching Interstate Batteries High-Limit Racing on FloRacing, getting a look at the huge pit area full of winged 410 and non-winged sprint cars as well. We're about ready to get cars on the racetrack here momentarily for the first Dirt Draft Hot Lap session of the night. If you're a fan sitting in the stands here tonight and you don't know what Dirt Draft is, go to the App Store or the Google Play Store if you are an Android user as well. Go download Dirt Draft. It is a great app and it's all brand new. They just did a whole revamp of it, a whole facelift to the app as well. What you do is you download the app, you make an account, you get a $100,000 salary cap to spend on 5 drivers racing here tonight. Each driver has a different salary value based on past results. Draft your team of 5 drivers to compete against hundreds of other teams. There is an official series season-long leaderboard as well, so if you play tonight and you do pretty well, you might as well keep going. Maybe you can win the championship that is the 2026 High-Limit Racing Fantasy Champion, of course. And if you're a new subscriber, you'll get a $20 gift card to Tyler Courtney's online merchandise store, which is shopsunshine.shop. That also goes for reactivating subscribers as well. So new subscribers and reactivating accounts will get that $20 gift card, and you can use it for anything on Tyler Courtney's merchandise shop. Once again, that is shopsunshine.shop. New features, new games, new speed shop. That is the new Dirt Draft app. You can download it right now before, I think you have to have your picks in before the heat races, right? So get those in and make sure that you are playing along, and hopefully, I'm sure there's quite a few of you out there watching on Flo tonight that are going to be playing along for the entire season-long championship, and good luck to you if you are, because that's going to be a tough one to win. 64 races. If you're the champion of that, you must know your stuff pretty well. We know there are cars over in the staging lane. They're getting very, very close to hitting the racetrack for the first time here tonight. That wheel pack session took a little bit less time than I felt like yesterday did, and we know the track was a little bit greasy, meaning the track had a little bit of moisture, a little bit of slime on the top layer there. So it may take a couple of extra hot lap sessions tonight to get that racetrack into good shape, albeit it is a little bit hotter today than it was yesterday, so that could come into play. Maybe we see just that one hot lap session. We'll have to wait and see. Tony, what are your thoughts as we're about to get things underway here?
Well, Chase, I think it's a dangerous way to tee me up with what are my thoughts, because that could just go a dozen wrong ways. But yeah, I hit on it a little bit when we first came on air. There's considerably less moisture. We weren't here as early as we were yesterday, but just from crossing the track on my JT Power Sports Burrow Max that Steve Steinley and the gang in Pennsylvania hooked me up with this year, just from crossing the track on the Burrow Max, way less moisture in the track. And it's funny because you're right, it is warmer today. My Apple Watch right now is showing 82 degrees. It was 83 degrees just a few moments ago. Yesterday, I think when we came on air, it was like 80, 81. It reads hotter, but it's more comfortable down here. I don't know what you're doing with the air conditioning up there in the PA booth. I hope it's comfortable for you. But down here, despite the thermometer saying it's warmer, it's much more comfortable. So I think that allowed the track prep guys to put a little bit less moisture into the track. And yeah, that engine heat and track pack session did not take nearly as long. So hopefully we won't need to re-hot lap anybody as Giovanni Scelzi brings that Spire Motorsports Chili's sponsored number 77 onto the track for our first round of Dirt Draft Hot Laps.
Yeah, last night's third place finisher leading 17 laps of the feature. Gio is from Fresno, California. Behind the wheel of the Chili's, Spire Motorsports, Carmen Trucking, Ziegler Auto Group, Gainbridge, number 77. And right behind him, the multi-time High-Limit Racing winner and the Australian champion from 1 year ago out of Alice Springs, Northern Territory, Australia, the American Rock and Rent Tarleton & Son, Toyota Racing, Durst Incorporated, number 21. That is James McFadden. James McFadden in the 21. And making his way into the third corner right now, it's the white car with the chrome numbers from Santa Rosa, California. The Graham Ray Hall Performance, Dirt Dudes Excavating, All About Fire Protection, Brad Alexander Suspension, number 19H. That is Joel Myers Jr. Joel Myers Jr. in the 19H. And last night's second place finisher, he was also the fast time qualifier from Clovis, California. The Trex Decking, Weyerhaeuser, Autry Plumbing, Four Seas Construction, Myers Constructors, number 14. That is Payday, Corey Day. Corey Day in the 14. And the defending Interstate Batteries High-Limit Racing champion rolls down the front stretch now from St. Helena, California. The Tony Stewart, Kerbagajanian Racing, CarQuest, Sugar Bee Apple, ArcZone.com, Pacific Boring, number 24. It's Rico Abreu. Rico Abreu in the 24. And coming across the start-finish line now from Sikeston, Missouri, driving car number 73, it's the MPE Inland Rigging, Shurcan, Bielman Motorsports, King Racing Products, number 73 of 100%, Hunter Schurenberg. Hunter Schurenberg in the 73. Now, Tony, I'm sure you've got your ears on right now, but I'll tell you, I mentioned Rico's sponsor there, Sugar Bee Apple. Also, they are, of course, the sponsor of this event this weekend, Sugar Bee Apple. I had one today, and I'll tell you, it is a monstrous apple. It is ginormous. It is juicy. I had my first one today. I can highly recommend. I know you don't eat healthy, Tony, but you should definitely get some of those apples.
Holy adjectives. Monstrous, ginormous, juicy. Chase, you finally opened up that thesaurus I bought you, didn't you?
Yes, I certainly did. Let's go back downstairs to our resident vocabulary expert, Tony Laporta.
Yeah, the Sugar Bee folks are awesome. They've been here supporting the event. Sugar Bee, the Bee, was here yesterday. I know you gave the Sugar Bee a call out. I think you were talking crazy, saying, you know, there's someone controlling it or in there. Like, that's a real-life Sugar Bee.
Yeah, it's real.
That is here supporting the event. They've got a fan giveaway pack for the Durst Dice Roller each night. So, yeah, it's really cool to have Sugar Bee. I saw those apples sitting in the Interstate Batteries High Limit Racing Command Center. Yes, those apples are quite large indeed, but since they are not deep-fried or covered in cheese, I, of course, did not have any. But I'm glad you tried them. It sounds like they were very, very good.
Yeah, they really were good. Now, another side note here, if you see these folks down here with the orange vests on at the bottom of the grandstands, they are with Discovery Channel Mexico. And so they are filming some stuff here for Discovery Channel Mexico. So I'm not sure if any fans watch that or not. If you want to get on that Discovery Channel Mexico, maybe wave your hands around. I'm not really sure what it takes to get on there, but I thought that was very interesting, as going to be growing sprint car racing in a couple different ways while we are here this weekend at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway dirt track, as it looks like we are just doing a little bit more of the wheel packing here to make sure that the surface is in a good spot so these drivers don't go sailing off into the corner at over 100 miles an hour and get in there and it's a little bit too slippery. We definitely do not want to see that, as there is Corey Day. Last night was his first start of 2026 in the United States in a sprint car. Of course, he spent quite a bit of time over in Australia, over at the Perth Motorplex, and got a couple of wins, and boy, was he exciting as a teammate to Callum Williamson down there. And there's a couple races we certainly won't soon forget, Tony.
Man, how fun was High Limit International between he and another Californian, Pengrove's Michael Buddy Kofoid. Those guys put on a show. That was a lot of fun to watch. Giovanni Selzi was down there at High Limit International with us 1 year ago at the end of the 2024 season. Yeah, Corey Day had so much fun down there. He skipped his original return flight home. Gavin Migro may have had something to do with that. I think they wanted to keep the aggressive Californian out there for a few more nights, and the crowd at Perth Motorplex got to enjoy a little bit more of Corey Day's high, wide, and handsome stylings around that world-class facility. He really had a good time out in Western Australia.
Yeah, he definitely left a couple marks on the wall with the bead lock, that is for sure, at the Perth Motorplex. A great event, and it was so much fun to be a part of this year. We got to see 3 really good races down there, and we'll do it all again later on in December of 2026. We do have cars somewhat up to speed, and you could tell that they are really slipping and sliding around there. Track with a lot of moisture in it. We talked to Brad Speed a little bit in the command center last night. He said, we really got to get this track really wet, or else it won't make it all the way the rest of the night. And so we saw what it turned into yesterday, and so we're going to have these little issues. It's going to take a little bit of time to hot lap, but it should turn into something very good later on in the racing program. And everybody, people don't come here for hot laps, right? They come here for the feature. They come here to be entertained for a 25-lap main event. If we have to take a little extra time for hot laps, we will make sure that takes place to give the best product we possibly can for those watching at home and here at the racetrack as well. As we're looking at some of the times, actually there are no times coming across because we are under yellow, but now it looks like the green lights do come on, and so we will see if we get some times coming across our screen here momentarily. Of course, those times are not going to be too fast. 23 seconds at this point in time is the lap by Corey Day, and a 23-second lap time for Rico. Just to give you an idea, we were in the 14-second range last night, so was that 7-ish seconds, 8 seconds off of what we were seeing here yesterday. Yesterday, we also saw the first and second hot lap sessions and the third hot lap session come back onto the track for a second set of hot laps, as we see the white flag waving now. More than likely, when the checkered comes out, these drivers more than likely will not exit the speedway. They'll stay out there and help pack in the racing surface just a little bit. Hunter Schoenberg now down to the 22-second lap times, a 22.611 for 100%. Schoenberg, a lot of experience here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway dirt track. In 2015, yes, 11 years ago, he led 21 laps of a USAC West Coast 360 Series race here. Ended up in the 5th position, but that just goes to show you how much experience and how long he's been coming to this racetrack there for Hunter Schoenberg. And so far, he is the fastest, and it's just a 22.032 second lap time. And so I was wrong. Sometimes you're wrong, okay? They're going to pull off the track. They're going to go back to the pit area. We're going to push the second group back out. I can almost certainly guarantee you, though, we will see those drivers back on the track because we are going to pick up multiple seconds of speed as these cars continue to make laps around this Las Vegas Motor Speedway dirt track. Here comes the drivers in session number 2. We'll introduce you to them as they appear on the speedway. Down the back straightaway right now from Higginsville, Missouri, the Casey's FVP, Andy's Frozen Custard, Impact Signs, Ditsville Transfer, Wilkerson Crane Riddle. Number 21, it's Blackjack, Brian Brown. Brian Brown in the 21. And last year's Rookie of the Year with Interstate Batteries High Limit Racing from Locust Grove, Oklahoma. The Casey Kane Racing with Mike Curb, Napa, Brumos Collection, Ballard Products, Carver Corporation. Number 9, that is Dason Pursley. Dason Pursley in the number 9. And from Templeton, California, driving the shop, Caleb.com, David Cry Engineering, Woodland Auto Display, the Pit Room. Number 3, that is Caleb Montgomery. Caleb Montgomery in car number 3. A driver in his sophomore season of racing with Interstate Batteries High Limit Racing rolls down the backstretch now. He is from Waco, Texas, driving the Bush's Chicken, Two Worlds Equestrian, Kaiser Wheels, Outlaw Wings, Smith Titanium. Number 9R, that is the quickest chicken, Chase Randall. Chase Randall in the 9R. And just behind him, driver that took a high flyer during his heat race last night. He is back for more here at Las Vegas. And out of Charlotte, North Carolina, the Monster Energy, Oakley, PristineAuction.com. Number 84, that is Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs in the 84. And a Race Redeem Foundation Rookie of the Year contender comes off at turn number 4 now. He's from Jacksonville, Oregon. Driving the Jugo Superfoods, Pella, Avanti Windows and Doors, Big Spring Car Wash, Water Treatment by Design, Juniata Concrete number 13. It is Tanner Holmes. Tanner Holmes in the 13. And going into turn number 4 now from East Grand Forks, Minnesota, in the Pro C, JW Repair, Ekman Dental Arts, Phil Thompson and Associates, number G5. The driver is Gage Polkerbeck. Gage Polkerbeck in the G5. So race fans, I'm sure there are many of you that are here for the very first time. The track is very wet right now. It's going to take a few laps at speed and at slow speeds as well to work in that moisture. Right now, the lap times are at 22 seconds every time they circle the track. Last night, we were in the 14-second range in qualifying, so a long ways to go before we're really hitting the speeds we're looking for, Tony. Well,
and Chase, I think just because we have this chance to have some new fans in the grandstands with us here tonight with NASCAR in town, you know, this is a pretty dumbed down explanation of it because you're hearing it from a pretty dumbed down guy. But the reason the track is so filled with moisture and water down is to preserve it. These cars spin their tires so hard and they push the heavy, wet dirt away very, very quickly. And over the course of a night, with these big rear tires on these powerful sprint cars, they can kick all the fresh, moist dirt away. Then the dirt becomes very hard packed and it gets hard to race on. And eventually it'll become so hard it begins to become like pavement and become abrasive. And the rubber from the car's tires actually sticks to the dirt. And then it's no good. So again, a real dumbed down explanation there. But for people in the stands wondering, well, why'd they put so much water into it? Why are they so worried about it being wet? Well, it's the best way to preserve a nice, even racing surface throughout the whole night and not let it get too hard packed and dry before we want it that way.
Definitely a good way to explain it, Tony. And yes, we are definitely going to have some new fans here tonight and tomorrow as well that are going to be needing those explanations. Right now, Tanner Holmes appears to be the fastest driver in this session at 21.226 seconds. Caleb Montgomery right behind him. Those two are really good friends off the racetrack and are also YouTube rivals. 21.254 is the lap time for Montgomery. As you see him on the screen there, Schoenberg from the first session still sitting in the 3rd position, followed by Chase Randall and Rico Abreu. But you can see these guys just crawling around the track, just doing their best to keep the car straight, not try and blow the tires off of it. They're getting around, and the lap times are going to slowly improve. It's going to take some time, but we will get there. Now, tomorrow night, it's going to be interesting to see if this is a similar situation due to the fact that we will not have the USCS sprint cars. So you have to take into account that with an extra 22 cars, also with those big sprint car tires on the rear end, of course, that you got to add a little bit of moisture. But maybe tomorrow night you won't see quite as much, and it won't be 22-second lap times when it gets into hot laps, as it looks like the yellow lights do come on, and these drivers will now slowly pace around the speedway. Caleb Montgomery is the first driver into the 20-second range at a 20.848 second lap time. Tanner Holmes in second at a 21.226. Dason Persley third at 21.277. Chase Randall in fourth, 21.285. And Brian Brown in fifth at 21.909. Those are the 5 fastest drivers so far. We're still about 6 seconds off of where we're looking to be. Highland Racing will be in action once again tomorrow night, of course, but if you're from the Las Vegas area and you like what you're seeing here tonight with these 410 wing sprint cars, we will be not too far. I think it's like a 5.5-hour drive to our next racetrack at the Central Arizona Raceway in Casa Grande. That is next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So if you want to see more, 5.5-hour drive, that's not too bad. Get yourself a hotel, go to the Motel 8, whatever it takes, get yourself there, because Central Arizona Raceway is going to be can't-miss television. And Tony, I know that's one of your favorite places on the schedule.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be really cool to get out to Arizona. I know our group's leaving Sunday morning here from Vegas. One of the highlights before we get on track at Central Arizona will be getting out there to Phoenix and the Scottsdale area and getting to catch a little bit of spring training baseball. It's always fun. Jerry Petty and the entire staff out there at Casa Grande do a very, very good job. They have really resurrected that place over the last couple of, I don't even want to call it years. It's been like probably 18 to 20 months that they have put a lot of time and a lot of money into Central Arizona. It's great that High Limit gets to go back there, and now for 3 nights of racing as opposed to the 2 we had last year there.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see that. I'm sure they've made some updates, some upgrades, some changes. When we were there last time, they were putting in new grandstands and all kinds of other stuff. So very curious to see what Jerry Petty and the boys have for us next weekend over there at the Central Arizona Raceway. As we're still running here in hot lap session number 2, we're down to the 19-second range, a 19.072. Now that's an 18-second lap, excuse me. An 18.509 from the quickest chicken, Chase Randall. Caleb Montgomery, then Tanner Holmes, Dason Persley, and Brian Brown as the checkered flag is out. Drivers finishing up this hot lap session right now. So those drivers will head back to the trailer, probably scrape some mud off the side of their race cars. They'll come back out here in a little bit to practice in hot lap one more time. But Chase Randall is currently the fastest at 18.509 seconds. Caleb Montgomery is in second, 19.072, followed by Dason Persley at 19.312, Tanner Holmes at 19.725, and Brian Brown at 19.778. Tone?
I didn't know. Did you just call me Tone?
I did.
Wow, let's not do that anymore. I didn't know if Gary had his headset on up there, and I know we've got our next group of hot laps coming out, but Caleb Montgomery just came off the track in that shopcaleb.com number 3 machine. And, I don't want to take time away from these cars we've got coming out next. So maybe later on before his heat race or another time, Gary can regale us with some Caleb Montgomery stories. GT, I'm sure you've spent a good bit of time calling Caleb in races back in your home state of California. He's just a fun guy to talk to. It was great to have him stop on the front stretch last night. It's always cool to talk little Montgomery. He's just a different guy. That's how you got to describe Caleb, I think.
Yeah, he's a great guy, and we'll tell some good stories later on. I had the chance to go to New Zealand with him and his dad and girlfriend, and that was a great experience. But Chase, we have the next group rolling out on the track.
We certainly do. Rolling into turn number 2 now. It's the driver out of Lincoln, California, behind the wheel of the California Waterfowl, TC Guide Service, CBC Concrete, K1 Race Gear, number 83T. That is Tanner Carrick. Tanner Carrick, one of the only driver running double duty here, both the wing and the non-wing sprint car. And rolling behind him down the backstretch now from Tempe, Arizona, in the SCR machine, Johnson Built Concrete, number 34. That is Sterling Kling. Sterling Kling in the 34. Just ahead of Sterling, making his way into the third corner now from Indianapolis, Indiana. In the NOS Energy Drink, Spire Motorsports, Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts, Brand Professional Agriculture, Gamebridge, number 7 BC, that is Sunshine, Tyler Courtney. Tyler Courtney in the 7 BC. Also on the back straightaway, he is from St. Mary's, New South Wales, Australia. In the Maxim Trucking, TK Concrete, Logan Contractor Supply, Rexco Equipment, Zip Bonds, number 55, the Madman, Kerry Madsen. Kerry Madsen in the 55. And from Quilcene, Washington, in car number 6, that is JJ Hickle. JJ Hickle in car number 6. And last night's feature winner also out there on the racetrack from Elk Grove, California, the all-buy-your alternative, HemrickCars.com, JVI Group, Finley Farms, Fulkins Brothers Trucking, FloRacing, number 57. It is Young Money, Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson in the 57. And final driver in this third session of Hot Laps is from Aromas, California. He drives the MitcheryConstruction.com, Yuba Sutter Aviation, North County Plastering, Triple X Chassis, number 2X, Justin Sanders. Justin Sanders in the 2X. And you can see these cars are already looking a little bit faster just by the eye here. The eye test, they look faster than the last two groups have. And Tanner Carrick, he'll jump to second quick. Now Tyler Courtney goes to second quick on the speed charts at an 18.620. He's now followed by Sterling Kling as Kyle Larson goes to the top of the board at an 18.453. Kerry Madsen jumps to the third position. So at this rate, more than likely we'll see all 5 Hot Lap sessions more than likely come back onto the track. We'll have to wait and hear from Highland officials if that is the case, but 17-second lap times are now being turned. Kerry Madsen just ran a 17.140, puts himself atop the speed charts. Tyler Courtney in second. Then it's Kling, Larson, and Carrick. There's a look at Sterling Kling as he rolls into turn number 1. Kerry Madsen, a solid start to his season here one night ago. Made the dash and ran 8th in the main event there with Vermeer Motorsports. JJ Hickle rolling down the back stretch as well in that all-black number 6 car. We now have a 16-second lap time. Kerry Madsen turns that in, a 16.815, 16815. As the yellow flag is displayed, indicating to the drivers that they will not be pulling off the speedway. They will slowly pack around the track. As Kerry Madsen, you see him on your screen there, fastest driver now at a 16.815 second lap time. Tyler Courtney in second, a 17.204. Sterling Kling in the 34 car is a 17.443. Kyle Larson fourth, a 17.791. And in fifth, the number 6 car, JJ Hickle, a 17.890. Behind them, it's Carrick, Sanders, Randall, Montgomery, and Pursley, the top 10 fastest drivers. Just to give you an idea of what's going on here, the drivers that were in session number 1, a few of them were in the 22-second bracket, and right now we're in the 16s. So in just a couple of groups here, the track has improved by 6 seconds in time. Give these drivers a few more moments here to help pack in the racing surface, and then we will send them green one more time. Then they will head back to the pit area and we'll bring out session number 4.
And Chase, isn't this the interesting dichotomy of track preparation, right? Because often most people would say that water, moisture in the track, in a dirt track, equates grip, and grip equates to speed. But you can have too much moisture, and that's when it's greasy, that's when it's sloppy, right? And so you see too much moisture get blown off, and these drivers are able to pick up 6 seconds of lap time. But then it reaches a tipping point, right, where the track begins to get such little moisture and it dry slicks off, and then it becomes so slick all the way around that it becomes tough to handle. So this is the black magic that is track prep, right? How much water do you put in it? What else do you do to it? How often do you run cars around it before putting more moisture into it or scratching it? And it's one of the things that makes sprint car and dirt track racing so entertaining and sometimes really frustrating.
There's not a science to it, that is for sure. There's maybe 2 or 3 tracks in the country that can really deliver on track prep almost every single weekend. It is a tough thing to do. It looks like Tyler Courtney's got a problem. Sunshine off the pace down the front straightaway as the drivers were shown the white flag, and so that will more than likely end this session as Tyler Courtney is going to head back to the pit area. It's been a tough tough start to the year so far for them. Tony, they had to come through the B main last night, finished outside the top 15.
Yeah, I spoke to a crew member resurrected from being outside of the racing industry, now back into it. Peyton Grease on that car with Tyler Courtney, and then team co-owner Tim Clausen spoke about those guys in the pit area earlier today, and they pretty much swapped out almost everything from the firewall back on that car, a new driveline, a new rear end. They ended up taking the engine out of it, and only to swap a U-joint because Tyler complained of a harmonic vibration when he'd get on the throttle. And so, unfortunately, it seems like problems continue here for the 7BC.
Well, you know, they said all those changes, Tony. I want to mention this as well. Not often do we have a support class here with Interstate Batteries High-Limit Racing. Last night was a very good night to have one for that team. As he's just said, all those different changes they had to make, that is a time-consuming thing to do. And luckily, they did have the USCS heats and all that other stuff that is involving that other series to make those changes. Otherwise, on a regular night when we don't have a support class, they would have been in really bad shape. As the checkered flag does come out now, Kerry Madsen, the first driver into the 15-second bracket. The lap time, a 15.851 seconds. And so now we're about a second off the times we saw here yesterday during qualifying. Very, very close to getting where we need to be at for qualifying. And then Kyle Larson second, Tanner Carrick third, Sterling Kling fourth, and Tyler Courtney before the issue as the fifth quickest lap time.
Well, just one more thing on Sunshine. Tyler Courtney in that 7BC from Clausen Marshall Racing. Obviously, nobody ever wants to see an accident as severe as the one we saw last night where we had that non-wing sprint car go through the fence here in turn 4. But Tim Clausen was honest. He said, you know, that actually ended up playing into our favor, and it gave us much more of a cushion to continue to chase the gremlins that were plaguing that 7BC. So, like I said, they did everything almost back of the firewall in Tyler Courtney's race car. Pulling that engine to swap the U-joint was the last thing they did between the heats and the B main. Obviously, it paid off because, you know, he was lights out in the B last night, but not the way they wanted the opening night to go. Hopefully, night number 2 here is not off to as rocky of a start.
Yeah, it can't get much worse than what they had to do last night. As you see on your screen, the next group of drivers making their way onto the track. That is Cole Schroeder on your screen. He's from Bozeman, Montana. In the Rock and R Restaurant, Sherville Suspension, ART Enterprises, Don Vanzuela's Auto Body, number 3C. And right behind him, a driver that was not here last night, the 16-year-old from Sacramento, California, making his high-limit racing debut, driving the CR Wood Motorsports, Lightfoot Automotive, Morgan Precision Roofing, Flying A Trailers, number 2A. That is Austin Wood. Austin Wood in the 2A. And from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, driving the Alba, your alternative, Joel Pigeon Trucking, Hample Oil, CP Excavating, Raw Machinery, number 10. The driver is Ryan Timms. Ryan Timms in the number 10. And from Cobble Hill, British Columbia, Canada, in the Saratoga Motorsports Park, Cal Creek, Malhat Auto Wrecking, Shark Racing Engines, number 21P, it's Robbie Price. Robbie Price in the 21P. From Fort Collins, Colorado, the BG Automotive, Simpson Race Products, BR Motorsports, Schaefer's Oil, number 16G, Austin Gossel. Austin Gossel in the 16G. And rolling behind him into turn number 1 from Hanford, California, the Netto Ag, Painum and Grain, Vanderpool Petroleum, Mechanics Choice Oil, number 88N, it's the 2-time NARC champion, DJ Netto. DJ Netto in the 88N. The other number 88 rolls right behind him from Altoona, Iowa. The Country Builders Construction, Ochoco West, Tucker Trucking, Moss Brothers Powder Coating. Number 88W, it's the big unit, Austin McCarl. Austin McCarl in the 88W. We did see another car out there on the track. That was Hank Davis, but he had the hood off of the car. And so maybe some issues there on the Michael Dutcher Motorsports entry, as he came on the track, fired it off, and went straight back to the trailer.
Yeah, actually, I don't know if it's Matthew Dillner with FloRacing content, but they did just get a quick video. I think the kids are calling those reels these days up on the FloRacing Instagram. They had to do a full engine swap on that Michael Dutcher Motorsports number 17 GP. So FloRacing has got their content team out here this weekend to kick off Interstate Batteries High Limit. It's a good follow if you want to keep up with what is going on out there, they were able to get a phone camera up there in the trailer and check in with Hank Davis, as there you see a great overhead shot of the car now backed away from that Dutcher Motorsports rig in between Giovanni Scelzi and Dason Pursley's machine. Everything looks either done or nearly complete for Hank Davis. Hopefully they're able to get that car out quickly. But yeah, check out FloRacing's social media. They keep you up to date on all that stuff.
They sure do. Hank Davis, one of the 2 Rookie of the Year contenders this year with Interstate Batteries Highland Racing. And so hopefully they've got the bugs worked out, and he is set to roll. Actually, he was supposed to be earlier on. He was supposed to be in the first hot lap session of the night, and so did not get a practice. But luckily for him, with how the track is, more than likely we will see that first session come back out, and Davis should get a couple laps at speed. As there is Austin Gossel, who was in quite the arm wrestling match last night with Brian Brown in the B main. Those two passed each other back and forth at least 12 times. Both, unfortunately, unable to make the transfer as they were battling and allowed Tanner Carrick to pull away with that last transfer spot. Ryan Timms in this group is currently the best. He's 4th quick. It's a 16.270 second lap time. Robbie Price 6 as Austin McCarl goes into the top 3. 3rd quick for McCarl. Austin Wood up to the 8th spot in 2A. And now Ryan Timms goes to the top of the board by 0.3 of a second at a 15.502. And there is a look at Cole Schroeder running first couple of 410 races here right now with Interstate Batteries Highland Racing. He is a full-timer at the USCS National Tour, which is a 360 division that travels the country. There is Ryan Timms, currently the fastest driver here in hot laps, unable to improve on that 4th time by the line. Robbie Price up to P6. DJ Neto is in 8th, and now Austin Gossel goes to the 8th spot as the checkered comes out, making that the yellow lights come on. Ryan Timms, the defending Knoxville Nationals champion, is currently the fastest driver in hot laps at a 15.502. 15502. Then it is Kerry Madsen from the last group. He's in 2nd at a 15.851. And Austin McCarl, who's out there right now, 3rd quick, a 15.891. Kyle Larson 4th, and Tanner Carrick in 5th. Following them, Robbie Price, Sterling Kling, Austin Gossel, DJ Neto, and Cole Schroeder. Gary Thomas, I'd love to bring you in here real quick because we have Austin Wood out there. You know him very well. He got a Placerville Speedway win last year. He got a win here recently as well at Silver Dollar Speedway. And this is a guy a lot of people are talking about that could be something big one day. This is his high limit debut tonight. He just won last weekend at the Silver Cup at Silver Dollar Speedway. We're very excited to see how this 16-year-old is going to progress.
Yeah, Austin's one of the kids coming up out of the micro ranks. A couple years ago, he debuted at Placerville full-time, won a main event, and then last year he became the youngest ever SCCT champion at age 15. Ran 2nd in points at Placerville as well, and I know he's got a little taste of that 410 racing, Merced a couple weeks ago, and then as you said, was very impressive in Chico last week. Tonight, though, this is the biggest track he's ever been on, so I'm excited to see what he does. Yeah, this is just the 2nd ever 410 start for Austin Wood, as GT just mentioned. The other one came back on February 28th, so about 2 weeks ago, where he finished 23rd in the feature with NARC. I believe got into an incident there and did not finish the race, and so wasn't exactly the greatest debut, but so far so good here tonight on the half mile at Las Vegas, sitting in the 8th position on the timing sheet. Actually, sorry, the 11th position on the timing sheets. So those drivers paced around slowly, as we've seen so far here tonight, and now they'll get back up to speed. And the green flag waves once again. This is hot lap session number 4 of 5, the Sugar Bee Blackjack Bash. Austin Wood now into the top 5 on the timing sheets at a 16.102, and Robbie Price takes over the top spot. 21P at a 15.468. Austin Wood now to the top of the speed charts in 2A. A 15.295. He's surpassed by Ryan Timms, who goes a 15.133. So that should do it for session number 4. Your fastest driver in that one
is the number 10 of Ryan Timms. Lap time of 15.133. But right behind him in his high limit debut, the 16-year-old Austin Wood, a 15.295. As GT mentioned a few moments ago, the biggest track he's ever been on, and he is second quick so far in hot laps. Robbie Price in third, 15.468, followed by Austin McCarl in fourth at 15.557. And top 5 drivers right now is Kerry Madsen, 15.851. Cole Schroeder in sixth, DJ Neto seventh, Kyle Larson 8th, Austin Gossel 9th, and Tanner Carrick in 10th. The 5th and final hot lap session is rolling trackside now. They're led onto the track by 2 Texans. The first one is from Clute, Texas. It's the Fulkins Brothers Trucking, Power Plus, Bryant Paver Motorsports, STC, Monty Farms, number 87, Aaron Reitzel. Aaron Reitzel in the 87. And from Lubbock, Texas, the Horizon Whiskey, Nice Cretin Landis, PhilPools.com, High Performance Lubricants, RB Ranch, number 5, Brenham Crouch. Brenham Crouch in the number 5. And a guy with a really good nickname. Everybody loves the Florida Man from Northport, Florida. And the Global Link, Moxie Sports Advisors, GSR Racing, CSI Shocks, Impact Signs, Awnings and Wraps, number 24D. That is Danny Sams III. Danny Sams in the 24D. And last night's 4th place finisher rolls down the front stretch now from Myerstown, Pennsylvania, the Warrior Buildings, McGrewbid.com, Baps Paint, Livewire Customs, Fenton Marks Racing Development. Number 19, it is Brent Marks. Brent Marks in the 19. And we see Hunter Schurenberg back on the track. He was supposed to be in session number 1. We saw him out there earlier, so not exactly sure. Maybe just fixed something up and they're coming out to fire off. We'll see if he pulls off or if he stays on. Another driver on the track is Justin Peck in car number 26. He is from Monrovia, Indiana, the Skagit Speedway, Race Treating Foundation, Hager Realty, Stancraft Jet Center, Angel of the Winds Casino, number 26. And last night's 5th place finisher rolls down the front straightaway now from Minden, Nevada. It's the JST Motorsports, Smith Titanium, Factory Cane, Maxima Racing Oils, Massey Valley Transportation, number 88, Tanner Thorson. Tanner Thorson in the 88. And the final car in this session, that is the 42. Cy Lynch is the driver out of Apollo, Pennsylvania, the Mosinus Motorsports, Ducati of Pittsburgh, Hollywood Blasting Coating, MAV Motorsports, number 42. And some of you might be saying, oh man, everybody's got these new paint schemes and whatnot, and Cy Lynch didn't do one. No, Cy Lynch does have a new paint scheme this year. If you look very closely inside of where his number is at on the wing, there's actually some camouflage in there. That's why you can't see it. It's camo, but that is the new look for Cy Lynch. It's a very, slight change, right? But I think it looks really good on that Cy Lynch 42 machine. As you look there at Brent Marks, who was supposed to be in this session, pulls off the track and back to the pit area. So not exactly sure what could be going on there for Brent Marks. He will not get a hot lap session here. Whatever changes they have to make, they do have some time, however. He's about the 7th to last car to qualify tonight. Of course, Marks getting out to a very good start here one night ago. Was running second for a majority of the race and then ends up in 4th. Couple drivers making their way into the top 10, including Brenham Crouch and Cy Lynch. Danny Sams up to the 2nd spot on the charts at a 15.246. And Aaron Reitzel, 15.088. Move Aaron up into the top of the speed charts. Cy Lynch up into the top 5, a 15.427 for the 42 car, as is Justin Peck. Now he's up to 4th at a 15.287. Justin Peck now finds himself at the top of the charts, a 15.066 for car number 26. Just outside of that 14-second bracket where we were at last night. And Peck gets there, a 14.942. And that is going to finish things off for session number 5. Justin Peck, now the fastest driver. 14.492, the only driver. Actually, sorry, 14.942, the only driver in that 14-second bracket. Aaron Reitzel second, 15.088. Ryan Timms in third, a 15.133. Danny Sams in fourth at a 15.246. And Austin Wood from the group previous, a 15.295, is in fifth. Cy Lynch, Tanner Thorson, Robbie Price, Austin McCarl, and Hunter Schurenberg. Looks like these drivers are going to pace around, as we've seen for every group so far. The track is just about where we want it to be for qualifying time trials. Pretty unbelievable to have the track this fast. It's this wet. Now the shades over the top. We're still over a second off of the track record that was set here back in 2004 by Danny Lasowski. That lap time once again was a 13.714. Pretty crazy that, man, you'd think the track was shorter back then, but I guess not. There's Justin Peck on your screen, currently the fastest in hot laps, and his night, much like Tyler Courtney's, not getting off to where they wanted it at. 14th place in last night's feature for Justin Peck. He is a four-time high limit racing winner. Ended up 6th place in points last year with 2 wins, 16 top 5s, and 27 top 10s. Already a 2-time feature winner this year at the USCS National Tour. That came at the Central Arizona Raceway in Casa Grande, which we will be at next week for 3 nights, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Couple more moments of slow wheel pack. And the drivers will be given the signal not only from the flag stand, but from race director Mike Hess to get back up to speed. Looks like Aaron Reitzel actually got a peel. No, he did a fake pit on me there. There's Tanner Thorson right there. Tony talked to him in the pre-race interview today. Mentioned it last night in his 90th career high limit start. It was the first time on a half mile where he finished inside the top 5. Green flag comes back out. We're back up to speed. An issue there for Aaron Reitzel. He was slow coming down the front straightaway, and it looked like he was going to pull off the track there, and he hung a left and kept it out there on the racing surface. So Reitzel, who is currently 2nd quickest on the charts, is going to coast to a stop, it looks like, on the back straightaway. And so Reitzel, who ran 10th in last night's main event, much like guys like Brent Marks, Tyler Courtney, we've already seen a couple of guys have issues that have sent them back to the pit area in their hot lap session. Race fans, we will be having a fan fest here tonight as well. If you don't know what that is, it's where all the drivers that are in the race tonight with Interstate Batteries High Limit Racing, the drivers that have t-shirt trailers, they will be going to those t-shirt trailers and signing autographs, taking pictures, selling merchandise. All of that will be going on right after qualifying time trials is over for Interstate Batteries High Limit Racing. So during USCS group qualifying, these drivers will be going back to their trailers to sign autographs and take pictures. That is our fan fest here tonight. So if you'd like to take part in that and meet your favorite driver, you can certainly do so here in about, I would say, maybe 30 minutes or so. There is Hunter Schurenberg getting up to speed. The Josh Ford Motorsports number 73, just such a long-time team, mostly known, of course, for their adventures in the non-wing with USAC CRA. But they do have the wing car they bring out from time to time for Schurenberg. They ran Brady Bacon, they ran Ryan Brunell, they ran plenty of guys in that car. As it looks like Schurenberg, as I'm talking about, goes to the top of the board. Talk about announcers jinx, and that one actually worked out in my favor as Cy Lynch now goes to the top of the board at 14.831. Schurenberg, Sams, and Peck are all right behind him, along with Brenham Crouch. And so that should do it for that session. And definitely a couple of drivers to keep an eye on here that had issues that are going to be contenders tonight. Reitzel, Marks, and Courtney all pulling off early and not getting any time on the track at speed. I guess Reitzel did get a couple laps in there, but did have an issue. Justin Peck will finish things off as the best driver in this hot lap session, 14.725. Cy Lynch, a 14.831. Hunter Schurenberg, third, 14.870. Danny Sams, 14.890. And Brenham Crouch in 5th, 15.021. Reitzel, Timms, Thorson, Wood, and Price. And as we suspected, here comes the drivers that were in session number 1 of Hot Laps here this evening. Joel Myers Jr., that first car you see out there on the racetrack, when he came out earlier on, race fans, his lap time was a 22.700. That is, let me do some quick math, 8 seconds off of what we are running now. And so that is why we are bringing these drivers back onto the track. McFadden back out there in 21. Corey Day in the 14 returns to the Speedway as well. 24 of Rico Abreu. We should also see the 17 GP Hank Davis. Yes, he is out there. 77 Giovanni Selzi, he will be in this group as well. And Tony, you know, this is pretty rare for these guys to get this many laps before they get into qualifying. Of course, normally when the track isn't, you know, wet and slimy like this, these guys get 2 or 3 laps and that's all the practice. They don't get 3 hours of practice, right? They get 3 laps of practice and they get right into qualifying. Tonight is a pretty rare, you know, exemption, of course.
Yeah, it really is. But and while I'm not necessarily a massive fan of it, I love the fact that in sprint car racing, hot laps are, like you said, 2 or 3 laps, and then it is straight into qualifying and timed competition. But you know what? It's the very first weekend back. It's the start of a 64 race long championship. If you had to have a weekend start off with a few extra laps, the opening weekend of the season would be a good one to do it. Some drivers and teams, new combinations, a lot of new equipment getting put out onto the track here in Las Vegas at the Sugar Bee Blackjack Bash. So yeah, I don't think it's something we're going to see become common practice, but I'm sure some of these drivers and teams maybe appreciate, they certainly don't mind getting a few extra laps to work the kinks out, make sure everything works, and feel as comfortable as possible before we go racing. But yeah, in sprint car racing, you got to come to the track ready. You get 2, 3 laps, maybe 4, and then it's right into competition. Yeah, tonight these guys are going to get more like maybe 10 or so laps of practice just so we can get that racetrack in the best shape that we possibly can. As once again, group number 1's second session is about to go green. All of these drivers were in the 22-second bracket the last time they were out there. As the green flag flies on session number 1. It's the first time we've seen Hank Davis at speed here tonight in 17 GP. He had an issue earlier on. He's sitting 23rd on the charts, as we do have a couple guys going into the top 5. James McFadden is one of them, and just outside the top 5 is Corey Day. Nobody able to top the time of Justin Peck, however, at a 14.725. Joel Myers Jr. better that time by the line. He is 16th quick at a 15.528. There is Joel right there. Good looking race car for him. Interesting sponsor on that car, Graham Rahal Performance. Tried to get some answers out of Joel about that sponsorship yesterday, and he wouldn't tell me too much about it. As James McFadden, the best in that group and 5th quickest overall. The lap time is a 14.893. Everybody's still chasing Justin Peck's 17, make that at 14.725. And so we should see group number 2 come back out as well. Now, while these drivers weren't as far off the pace like that first group, they were still in the 19 and 22nd lap times. And immediately after hot laps are over, we will get straight into qualifying time trials here tonight. We'll talk more about that here once we get to that point, as we see the drivers that were in group number 2 return to the Speedway. There's the number 3 of Caleb Montgomery. Caleb did make the show here yesterday, finished up 23rd in the main event. He was 13th here 1 year ago. Ty Gibbs is just hoping to exit Las Vegas Motor Speedway dirt track on all 4 wheels, which has been a problem for him the last 2 attempts here. He mentioned that in the FloRacing interview yesterday, I believe, with Matthew Dillner. 21B, Brian Brown, Blackjack, back on the track in the KC's 21.
There is the G5, Gage Polkerbeck, all the way from East Grand Forks, Minnesota, to be here tonight. There is the Casey Kane Racing number 9, Dason Pursley. Of course, last year's Rookie of the Year, driving the car that enters the track now, that is now piloted by Tanner Holmes in the bright yellow and black number 13. '34, Sterling Kling will also make an appearance on the racetrack here. Kling was scheduled for session number 3, so that leads me to believe that we will have that third session also come back out. And then I believe we should be close to qualifying. Here comes Kerry Madsen in 55, the Madman from St. Mary's, New South Wales, Australia. Has been close to victory here a few times at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway dirt track for the Madman. He was 5th here back in 2013 and in 2014 against the World of Outlaws. And in 2014, that race where he ran 5th, he led 14 laps. Unfortunately, was not able to close the deal. He did break. Caleb Montgomery making his way slowly around the racetrack. Also, Chase Randall has made an appearance back on the track in car number 9. One of the fans' favorite nicknames, of course, the quickest chicken, with the Bush's Chicken sponsorship on the side. Chase Randall last year with Interstate Batteries Highlander Racing finished up 12th in the point standings. Now, Chase Randall is a former winner here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway dirt track. That was in Bandit Outlaw Sprint Series action. Came back in 2022. And if a random stat there, would not think that Chase Randall 4 years ago would have been a winner here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway dirt track, but that was indeed the case. He was very young when he started running 410s. Green lights come on. We'll see how these drivers look at speed. Justin Peck still with the lap time and beat, 14:7:25 here in Dirt Draft Hot Laps. Track may be slowing down here as soon as I say that, of course. Second place for Dason Pursley to a 14.812. I should have known as soon as the words were coming out of my mouth somebody was going to go to the top 5. Tanner Holmes up to 8th quick. Ty Gibbs up into 10th. So Pursley about 87 1/1000th of a second off of the time set by Peck there. As the yellow lights come on, checkered is out. And that is going to do it for that session of Hot Laps. Dason Pursley, the best in that group and second overall. 14.812 was the lap time around the Speedway. It's Peck, then Pursley, Cy Lynch 3rd, Hunter Schoenberg 4th, and Danny Sams is in 5th. James McFadden, Corey Day, Tanner Holmes, Brenham Crouch, and Ty Gibbs. If you're here tonight for the first time, or if you're watching at home for the first time, make sure to give Highlander Racing a follow on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. It's just at Highlander Racing. Brian Walker, our social media guy, does a fantastic job with everything over there, keeping you up to date on everything throughout the race night and throughout the race week, even in the off season. Walkipedia is doing his thing on the social medias. Make sure to give it a follow at Highlander Racing. Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook as well. We'll take a break here on FloRacing. I believe it is hot, or make that qualifying when we come back here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway dirt track. And we're back here. You can see cars are in the staging lane ready to go for qualifying here tonight. The first car is pushing right now. It'll be 2 cars on the track at the same time for 2 laps. Their best lap time will set them up for the heat race later on in the racing program. We'll keep you updated as the lap times come through on our screen here. But those first 2 drivers making their way out there on the backstretch now. So the first qualifier making his way down the backstretch is from Fresno, California, driving the Chili's, Spire Motorsports, Carmen Trucking, Ziegler Auto Group, Gainbridge. Number 77, it is Giovanni Selzi. And also qualifying with him out of Alice Springs, Northern Territory, Australia, the American Rock and Rent, Tarleton & Son, Toyota Racing, Durst Incorporated. Number 21, it's James McFadden. James McFadden in the 21, Giovanni Selzi in the 77. Selzi's opening lap time is a 14.681, 14.681. McFadden, his opening lap is going to be to the top of 14.612, 14.612. Top of the track is the preferred lane here for Selzi. He'll come across the line. He will be slower on lap 2 of 14.770. And for James McFadden, lap number 2 runs the bottom off of turn 4, does not improve, a 15.044. So James McFadden currently shows the way in Flight A of Capital Custom Trailer qualifying at 14.612 seconds over Giovanni Selzi. Qualifying next, last night's fast qualifier out of Clovis, California. The Trex Decking, Weyerhaeuser, Autry Plumbing, 4Cs Construction, Myers Constructors. Number 14, it is Corey Day. And also qualifying with him, Rookie of the Year contender out of Sand Springs, Oklahoma, the Michael Dutcher Motorsports, Lifestyle Homes, Big Rig Repair of Indiana, Avanti Industries, Parallax Group, 17 GP, Hank Davis. Lap 1 for Corey Day to the top, 14.589, 14.589. Hank Davis, his opening lap time is going to be 4th quick, a 15.126. 15.126. Corey Day in lap number 2, he will slow down to a 14.843. He'll take the first time at 14.4, make that 14.589. And for Hank Davis on lap 2, he will slow down just a little bit to a 15.141. His first lap was better, 15.126. 4th quick for Hank Davis, and now to the top for Corey Day in 14. The defending series champion now hits the racetrack from St. Helena, California. The Tony Stewart, Kerr Engineering Racing, CarQuest, Sugar Bee Apple, ArcZone.com, Pacific Boring, number 24. Here is Rico Abreu. And from Sikeston, Missouri, the MPE, Inland Rigging, Shurcan, Beelman Motorsports, King Racing Products. Number 73, it's 100% Hunter Schurenberg. Rico's first lap is going to be 4th quick, a 14.864, 14.864. Hunter Shermer had a good lap time earlier in hot laps. His opening time is going to be 6th quick, a 15.175, 15.175. Rico Abreu, lap number 2, he will slow down, a 15.104. First lap better, a 14.864. Shermer a little sideways off of turn 4 right there, and he will slow down to a 15.319. He will take that first one at 15.175. 6th quick for Schurenberg and 4th for Abreu. Next 2 qualifiers getting up to speed now from Santa Rosa, California. The Graham Rahal Performance, Dirt Dudes Excavating, all about fire protection. Brad Alexander Suspension. Number 19H, it's Joel Myers Jr. And from Charlotte, North Carolina, the Monster Energy, Oakley, PristineAuction.com. Number 84, Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs in the 84. Joel Myers Jr. in the 19H. Myers across the line. He will be 5th quick. It's a 15.043, 15.043. Ty Gibbs' first lap is going to be 7th. It's a 15.146, 15.146 for Ty Gibbs on lap number 1. Joel Myers Jr. across the line. He's going to slow down to a 15.127. That first lap was better, 15.043. And for Ty Gibbs on lap 2, he goes into the top 5 at 14.941. 14.941. Ty Gibbs 5th, and Joel Myers Jr. in 6th. So Corey Day shows the way after 8 cars so far in qualifying. 14.589 for car number 14. Following him is James McFadden, then Giovanni Selzi in 3rd, Rico Abreu in 4th, and Ty Gibbs in 5th as our next 2 qualifiers appear on the backstretch now. taking a time next out of Higginsville, Missouri. And the Casey's FVP, Annie's Frozen Custard, Impact Signs, Dittsville Transfer, Wilkerson Crane Rental. Number 21B, here is Blackjack Brian Brown. Brian Brown in the number 21, and Brownie is going to be out there by himself. We do not have a dancing partner out there for him. Brian Brown last night unfortunately did not make the show, was eliminated in the B main event. Lap 1 for Brownie is going to be 5th quick. It's a 14.928, 14.928. Brian Brown, 2 second place finishes here with the World of Outlaws back in 2015 and 2017. He's led races here 3 times, has not went to victory lane quite yet. Lap number 2, he'll slow down to a 15.041. The first lap slightly better at 14.928 seconds for Brian Brown in car number 21. Race fans, if you're looking for times on your phone, go to My Race Pass app. My Race Pass app on your phone. You can see the times, the live timing and scoring on there if you are looking for that type of thing. As we continue on with our next couple of qualifiers, up next, it's going to be the drive from Templeton, California. The ShopCaleb.com, David Cry Engineering, Woodland Auto Display, the Pit Room, number 3 of Caleb Montgomery. And Rookie of the Year contender also on the track from Jacksonville, Oregon. The Juco Superfoods, Pella, Avanti Windows and Doors, Big Spring Car Wash, Water Tune by Design, Juliana Concrete, number 13, it's Tanner Holmes. Lap 1 for Montgomery. He will time in 8th quick on lap 1, 15.099, 15.099. Tanner Holmes into the top 5 on his opening lap. It is a 14.922, 14.922. Caleb Montgomery, his second lap is going to slow down to a 15.111. First lap a little bit better, 15.099. And for Tanner Holmes on lap number 2, he will also not improve, 15.228. That opening lap time will stick at 14.922 for the 13 of Tanner Holmes, and 9th quick for Caleb Montgomery in the number 3. Couple more cars left to run here in Flight A of qualifying, 5 more to be exact. Next to qualify from Waco, Texas, it's the Bush's Chicken, Two Worlds Equestrian, Kaiser Wheels, Outlaw Wing, Smith Titanium. Number 9 are the Quickest Chicken, Chase Randall. He is joined on the track by another number 9 car from Locust Grove, Oklahoma, the Casey Kane Racer, Mike Kerr, Napa Auto Parts, Bruno's Collection, Ballard Products, Carver Corporation. Number 9 of Dason Pursley. Lap 1 for Chase Randall, it's going to be 8th quick, a 15.028, 15.028. Pursley tries the middle in 3 and 4. His first lap is 3rd quick, a 14.651, 14.651. Lap number 2 for Randall. He'll slow down to a 14, make that a 15.109. First lap better, 15.028. Pursley on lap number 2, he'll slow down, a 14.701, but may have found something there in turns 3 and 4. Jumps up to 3rd quick in car number 9 with a 14.651 second lap time. Next qualifier up to speed out of St. Mary's, New South Wales, Australia. The Maxim Trucking, TK Concrete, Logan Contractor Supply, Rexco Equipment, Zip Bonds number 55. It's the Madman Kerry Madsen. And from East Grand Forks, Minnesota, the Proceed, JW Repair, Ekman Dental Arts, Phil Thompson Associates number G5, Gage Polkerbeck. Kerry Madsen, lap 1 is 6th quick. It's a 14.877, 14.877. For Polkerbeck, he'll be 15th quick, a 15.495, 15.495. Kerry coming off of turn number 4 to complete his qualifying time. He'll be better on time, but stays 6th quick, a 14.865. And for Gage Polkerbeck, he will slow down to a 15.503, 15.503. First lap better, 15.495 for Gage. Should be 2 more cars left in Flight A of Capital Custom Trailer qualifying. Up next from Aromas, California, driving the MitcheryConstruction.com, Yuba Sutter Aviation, North County Plastering, Triple X Chassis, number 2X, here is Justin Sanders. And from Tempe, Arizona, behind the wheel of the SCR machine, Johnson Built Concrete, number 34, this is Sterling Kling. Sterling Kling in the 34, Justin Sanders in the 2X. Sanders on lap 1, he is going to be 15th quick, a 15.404, 15.404. Sterling Kling, he's now 15th fast at a 15.257, 15.257. Sanders really looking for an improvement here in this one. Lap number 2, he will find it to 14th quick, a 15:144. And for Sterling Kling on his second lap, he will not improve, a 15:478. He will stand on lap 1 at 15.257 seconds. And so that will do it for Flight A of qualifying. Corey Day is fastest in Flight A. He's trying to do it for the second night in a row. But out of those 17 cars, he is the best. We will see if anybody in Flight B can eclipse that time. Flight B begins now. On the track next, from Indianapolis, Indiana, the NOS Energy Drink, Spire Motorsports, Elliot's Custom Trailers, Brand Professional Agriculture, Cambridge. Number 7 BC, it is Sunshine Tyler Courtney. And joining him on the racetrack, from Lincoln, California, it's the California Waterfowl, TC Guide Service, CBC Concrete, K1 Race Gear, 83T Tanner Carrick. Tyler Courtney, lap 1 is a 15.022, 15022. Tanner Carrick, his opening lap time will be a 15.347, 15.347. Tyler Courtney's second time by, he will be just a little bit slower, 15.037. First lap, he'll take that one, a 15.022. And for Tanner Carrick, he will improve, at 15.284, 15.284. Tyler Courtney sets the bar in Flight B of Capital Custom Trailer qualifying at 15.022. Receiving word from Tony Laporta that they just changed the engine on that 7BC. We'll see how that lap time holds up here as we continue on. Next up is last night's feature winner from Elk Grove, California. The all-by-your alternative, HendrickCars.com, JVI Group, Finley Farms, Falcons Brothers Trucking, FloRacing, number 57. Here is Young Money Kyle Larson. And also on the track from Quilcene, Washington. And car number 6, it's JJ Hickel. Hickel in the 6th, Larson in the 57. Lap 1 for Kyle, he goes to the top, 14.930, 14.930. JJ Hickel a little out of the groove in turn 4, and it's going to cost him a 15.475, 15.475. Kyle Larson, lap number 2, he will improve, a 14.808, 14.808 for Kyle Larson on lap number 2. JJ Hickel, his second time by, is going to slow down to a 15.572. He will take the first one, 15.475, fourth quick of 4 drivers so far. Here is the defending Knoxville Nationals champion getting up to speed for his qualifying run out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. The all-by-your alternative, Joel Pitch Trucking, Hampel Oil, CP Excavating, Raw Machinery. Number 10, Ryan Timms. And from Altoona, Iowa, the Country Brothers Construction, Ochiko West, Tucker Trucking, Moss Brothers Powder Coating. Number 88W, it is Austin McCarl. Lap 1 for Timms, he will go fourth quick, a 15.456, 15.456. Austin McCarl, the big unit, lap number 1 for him is going to be third fast, a 15.112, 15.112. Ryan Timms a little out of shape off of turn number 4, and he is going to slow down, a 15.855. His first one was better at 15.456. And for Austin McCarl, he's going to slow down, 15.216. First lap is the one he will take at 15.112. The next driver to qualify made his high-limit debut here last night. He's from Bozeman, Montana, in the Rock and R Restaurant, Sherbolt Suspension, ART Enterprises, Don Vanzuela's Auto Body. Number 3C, it's Cole Schroeder, and a driver making his high-limit debut here tonight from Sacramento, California. The CR Wood Motorsports, Lightfoot Automotive from Morgan Precision Roofing, Flying A Trailers. Number 2A, Austin Wood. Austin Wood, 2A. And Cole Schroeder in the 3C. Schroeder on lap 1, 7th, 16.030, 16030. Austin Wood, lap 1, 5th quick, 15.426, 15.426. Cole Schroeder over the cushion in turn number 4. And will it cost him? Yes, a 16.275. First lap better, 16.030. Austin Wood, lap number 2, he will not improve, a 15.503. He will stand on the first lap of 5th quick, 15.426 for the 2A. Going green now from Hanford, California, the Netto Ag, Penny Newman Grain, Vanderpool Petroleum, Mechanics Choice Oil, number 88N, this is TJ Netto. And qualifying with him out of Cobble Hill, British Columbia, Canada, the Saratoga Motorsports Park, Cal Creek, Malahat Auto Wrecking, Shark Racing Engines, number 21P of Robbie Price. Robbie Price in the 21P, DJ Netto in the 88N. Neto's opening lap is going to be 8th quick. It's a 15.614. 15614. Robbie Price, first time by, 9th fast, a 15.715. 15.715. DJ Neto trying to improve on lap number 2. He will not do so, a 15.682. His first lap was faster, 15.614. And Robbie Price into the top 5, 15.349. 15.349, 5th quick for Robbie Price, and 9th for DJ Neto. Driver that had some issues during hot laps earlier on hits the racetrack now from Myerstown, Pennsylvania. The Warrior Buildings, McGrewBid.com, Baps Paint, Livewire Customs, Fenton Marks Racing Development. Number 19 here is Brent Marks. And also on the track with him from Fort Collins, Colorado, the BG Automotive, Simpson Race Products, BR Motorsports, Schaefer's Oil. Number 16G, Austin Gossel. Austin Gossel, 16G, Brent Marks in the 19. Marks' opening time is going to be 10th. It's a 15.879, 15.879. Austin Gossel, first lap for him will be 12th. It's a 16.286, 16.286. Marks looking for an improvement on lap number 2, and he will find it to 9th quick, a 15.552, 15.552. Gossel hang on to it. Off of turn number 4, he'll slow down to a 16.370. Six more cars to qualify. Next up from Minden, Nevada, in the JST Motorsports, Smith Titanium, Factory Cane, Maxima Racing Oils, Mesquite Valley Transportation. Number 88, that is Tanner Thorson. And joining him from Northport, Florida, in the Global Link, Moxie Sports Advisors, GSR Racing, CSI Shocks, Impact Signs, Awnings, and Wraps. Number 24D, the Florida man, Danny Sams III. Tanner Thorson, his first lap time is going to be 11th quick, a 15.706, 15.706. Danny Sams pretty good earlier on in hot laps. We'll see if that translates to qualifying. Third quick for Sams, a 15.033, 15.033. Tanner Thorson also into the top 5. 5th quick, a 15.264, 15.264. And Danny Sams on lap number 2 is going to slow down, but it does not matter going out super late into the top 3 for Danny Sams in 24D. From Apollo, Pennsylvania, the Mosinas Motorsports, Ducati of Pittsburgh, Hollywood Blasting Coating, Mav Motorsports. Number 42, this is Cy Lynch. And qualifying with him out of Lubbock, Texas, Horizon Whiskey, Nice Cretan Landis, PhilPools.com, High Performance Lubricants, RB Ranch. Number 5, it is Brenham Crouch. Brenham Crouch in the 5, Cy Lynch in the 42. Cy Lynch down the front stretch. Lap 1 for him is 4th quick, a 15.102, 15.102. Brenham Crouch, opening lap for him, will be 14th quick, a 15.669, 15.669. Cy Lynch, a good first lap. Lap number 2 will slow down, a 15.222. He'll take the first one, 15.102. And for Brenham Crouch, his second time by the stripe, he will not improve, a 15.692. He's going to stand on the first one at 15.669 seconds. And here come your final 2 qualifiers. One of them was the fastest driver in hot laps earlier on. It's Justin Peck out of Monrovia, Indiana, in the Skagit Speedway, Race Redeem Foundation, Hager Realty, Stancraft Jet Center, Angel of the Winds Casino, number 26. And from Clute, Texas, the Fulkins Brothers Trucking, Power Plus, Brian Paver Motorsports, STC Monty Farms, 87 of Aaron Reitzel. Lap 1 for Peck, 6 quick, 15.203, 15.203. Aaron Reitzel, lap number 1 for him is going to be 2nd quick, a 14.937. 14937. Justin Peck, lap number 2 for him is going to be better, but still 7th. A 15.152 on lap number 2. Reitzel tries a different game plan in 3 and 4 on the bottom, and it's not going to work out. He is slower. The first lap was P2, however, at a 14.937. And so Kyle Larson will be the fastest driver tonight in Flight B of Capital Custom Trailer qualifying. I believe it was the same 1-2 last night. It was Corey Day in Flight A and Kyle Larson Flight B last night. Same song, different dance here on night number 2 of the Sugar Bee Blackjack Bash. But getting the overall quick time tonight is the number 14 of Corey Day. A 14.589 second lap. for payday. Came up 96 1/1000 short of the feature win here yesterday. And he will not be tough, or he will not go away. I'll tell you that here this evening. He's going to be all out trying to get that win, just like he did last year here in Las Vegas. Getting a good look at that Capital Custom Trailer quick time lap. As you see the beautiful backdrop we're working with here in Las Vegas. Before we go to this break on FloRacing, race fans, we've got FanFest coming up right now. Those drivers are heading back to their trailers right now, and then they're going to make their way over here behind the grandstands to their t-shirt trailer. So if you would like to meet your favorite driver, here in about 5 minutes, those drivers are going to their t-shirt trailers behind the main grandstands to take pictures, sign autographs, and sell merchandise. So if you'd like to meet them, get back there and check it out. We'll be back here on Flow with more.
Hi!
What are you doing?
Revving up this road trip.
Did someone say road trip?
I'm Mr. Dependable, and like Interstate Batteries, I'm outrageously dependable.
Custom trailers and coaches. We are the #1 Renegade Toterhome dealer and the #1 Intech and Bravo Sprint Car Trailer dealer. No one sells more Toterhomes and Sprint Car Trailers than we do. Check out our complete lineup at capitalrenegade.com. If you're in the market for a Toterhome or a trailer, trust the people that are in the pits with you and that support the sport.
Go harder, faster, stronger with Rod End Supply. Whether you are running industrial, farming equipment, or a race car, Rod End Supply has the assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products that will help you lead the field in performance. Our superior design means our rod ends last longer and perform better, giving you the edge on the track and saving you money. Contact Rod End Supply or order online today at rodendsupply.com. We don't just sell them, we race them. rodendsupply.com. Serving the racing community for over 30 years.
Please hold. This will only take 24.67 seconds. In this arena, there's no margin for error. Every component has one job. Perform when it counts. Precision, strength, consistency, maximum performance development.
Race fans, remember the FanFest going on right now behind the main grandstands. The drivers that are full-time with Interstate Batteries Highland Racing are heading to their t-shirt trailers to sign autographs and take pictures. If you'd like to meet them, that FanFest is going on right now for about the next 15 or 20 minutes. We've got the USCS sprint cars hitting the racetrack for their hot lap session. Let's turn it over to Gary Thomas.
Thank you very much, Chase Rodman. Your first qualifying group is out on track for the Ultimate Sprint Car Series Year 3 for USCS. Again, as we said last night, the Ultimate Sprint Car Series combines both 360 cubic inch and 410 cubic inch sprint cars into one division. If you have a 410, you must utilize restrictors, which chokes the horsepower down and be more in line with the 360s. Tonight, unlike last night, we're going to utilize hot laps as qualifying. So this is qualifying group number 1. Going to have 4 groups of qualifying and then 3 heat races coming up later on. The best of 4 laps will be registered as their official qualifying time here in this. There's Eddie Tafoya Jr. right there on your screen out of Chino Hills, California. Good run here last night. 3rd place finisher with USAC CRA at Mojave Valley back in February. We'll see what the 51T has in store for us. So it should be 6 cars in each of these qualifying groups. There's the 18 of David Gasper out of Goleta, California, heading back to Indiana to do some non-wing racing this season. The Kittle Motorsports, Gasper Motorsports Clee sponsored 18. '22R, Roland Cabello also out there from Las Vegas, Nevada, one of our Hawaiian natives. Last night we had 6 total drivers who originally hailed out of Hawaii, 5 non-wing and 1 in the wing. Dustin Freitas unfortunately have an engine issue, so that's why he is not in action with the High Limit Series here tonight. 22 out of Ventura, Brian Whitley back with us again for the second straight night, the Trent Shoring Porta Store Special. Again, the best lap out of 4 is going to be the official qualifying time. As we mentioned last night, this is kind of a version of what they used to have with the All-Star Circuit of Champions and the old SCCT format for the California fans, where you qualify in your heat race groups. 2019 Ryan Timmons also out there. The ever good Fine Foods Special. David Gasper checking in 18.827. That's the fastest lap so far. There's another look at Eddie Tafoya Jr. in that 51T. And we got cars catching each other over there off turn 4. Checkered flag is going to wave. So the 18 of David Gasper fastest in that first set, an 18.827. Ryan Timmons in the 2019 19.198. Eddie Tafoya Jr. the 51T goes 19.334. And Brian Whitley 20.454. Good shot of the overhead drone there, that beautiful sunset here in Las Vegas, Nevada, night 2 of the Sugar Bee Blackjack Bash. The final night for USCS. Again, these first 2 shows are non-point events. The first point race for USCS will take place at the Thunderbolt Raceway in Tulare coming up in March 28th to be exact, alongside the NARC 410 sprint cars. That show will be on FloRacing. Well, there's a look at the number 8K. So that is the driver that went through the fence over there in turn 4 last night. The team drove all the way to Arizona, about a 9-hour drive. And Kula Kilinoy is back with us tonight in that 8K. Sure, everybody saw that on social media. The great thing was that Kula was okay and back with us for more here at the Las Vegas Dirt Track. 67X Jamie Barnes back with us again, the Walker Imagery Special. Talked to Jamie out there in the pit area. He did win a USAC CRA event up at Skagit Speedway back in 2006. Prior to his Para Dirt Cup wins in 2008 and 2009, now residing in the state of Arizona, originally out of Everett, Washington, is Jamie Barnes. 47, Sergeant Charles Davis Jr. also rejoins us here tonight in Las Vegas out of Buckeye, Arizona, the Central Arizona Raceway. MPE, the Race Shack, DMI sponsored 47. Again, very consistent start to the season for Chuck Davis. Last night, a 5th place finisher was Charles Davis Jr. Last night's runner-up also out there, the Inland Rigging 17X, is Ryan Burnell out of Hollister. Ryan Burnell in the 17X. Sure Can MPE NOS Energy Drink also backing the Hollister native, now residing in Roseville, California. There's the 83C of Tanner Carrick rolling down the front straightaway in that TC Guide Service sprint car. Tanner, as Chase said, the one double-duty driver here this weekend. He's going to go home with a $1,000 bonus, courtesy of Avanti Windows and Doors. '91H Lonnie Hostetler, also right there on your screen. A good-looking 91 car. Back to Ryan Burnell, battled up front with eventual winner Brady Bacon before coming home in the 2nd spot. Blake Bauer also out there in the Finkenbinder 3F. There's Lonnie Hostetler again in that 91H, navigating his way around this big half mile as Ryan Burnell goes to the top of the charts, 19.128. There's the Finkenbinder 3F of Blake Bauer, the 2024 USCS champion. Beautiful non-wing form there down the front straightaway as the checker flag waves on this group. L17 of Ryan Burnell, fastest in that, an 18.980. Charles Davis Jr., 19.170. Then Blake Bauer, the 3F, 19.328. 83 of Tanner Carrick, 19.481. Jamie Barnes checks in 5th quick in the 67X, followed by Lonnie Hochstetler and Kula Kilinoy in the 8K. There's a look at the inland rigging 17 of Ryan Burnell. Fast time there in qualifying number 2. Taking a look there at the Fan Fest going on at the High Limit Racing and T-shirt trailers. Looks like a pretty good crowd has developed over there. Everyone getting autographs from their favorite driver, hopefully picking up all that fresh swag. Last night, Brady Bacon performed a clean sweep. Fast time overall, won the heat race and won the 20-lap features. We bring out our next group of cars. Number 3, that's Grant Sexton out of Lakeside, California, 21-year-old driver in the East County Electric Works, Antonelli's Deli, Keys Brothers. Jeff Dale, HRP sponsored number 3. '73 also on track, Cole Wakeham. And 36, battling Bob Newberry, back with us once again out of Oakley, California. Longtime non-wing driver in Northern California, helped out by Delta RC, Air One Racing, Accurate Auto, and TPU Trucking for Bob Newberry. Numerous time A-Main winner at the Antioch Speedway, located on the Contra Costa County Fairgrounds. And there is your reigning USCS champion from Oakley, the Contra Costa Radiator Line X, Grandma and Grandpa, American Racer Tire 87P, it's Jacob Tuttle. Jacob Tuttle in the 87P. Also wanted to say in memory of Mike Soares. 11 car Tyler Cato back with us as well. And that Chris Stiles Racing at number 11. Cato out of Santa Rosa, California. Green flag waving on this group. Jacob Tuttle in the 87P running full-time for Dolner Racing in the Joe Hunt Magneto's Wingless Tour throughout Northern California. Going to hit most of the USCS shows, he said, as well. Grant Sexton there in the Sexton Gatlin Racing at number 3. Hoping to do some wing sprint car racing this year with the Sprint Car Challenge Tour. Jacob Tuttle right now has the fastest lap in this group, 19.804, followed by that guy, the Woodland Auto Display, 73 out of Simi Valley is Cole Wakeham. Grant Sexton, however, just took over second, down to a 19.491. L87P of Jacob Tuttle, fastest, a 19.388. Number 3 of Grant Sexton checks in with a 19.491. 73 Cole Wakeham, 19.586. 39T Troy DeGayton also out there. Didn't get a chance to mention him. He is 4th in that group, followed by the 36 of Bob Newberry, 38 of Tyler Cato. Cars crossing the scales located down there on the infield here at the dirt track at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. .5S of Rayson Silva joins us on the track out of Henderson, Nevada. Silva family sponsors wanted a XXX with 360 Chevy power. Straight up number 1 out of Santa Rosa, California, the Lawson Rock and Oil, Sonoma Springs Brewing, Sonoma Paint Center. Hunt Magnetos, number 1 is Nate Shank. Nate Shank in the number 1. Had a good chat with him and Father Terry over there at the trailer today. 21P out of Avondale, Arizona by way of Hawaii. That's the Southwest Building Solutions. SMT Wheels, paint by Steve. 21P of Dalen Pereira. Dalen Pereira in the 21P. Last season he ran with the wing on the car with High Limit Racing here in Las Vegas. And last night's A-Main winner at a Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, the Ricky Johnson Racing. BG Lubricants, Pro Flyer Engines, Martin Auto Museum, 51, the Macho Man, Brady Bacon. Brady Bacon in the 51, again, a clean sweep here last night. Looks like the 58 also out there, Mark Henry from Rosamond, California, by way of Antelope Acres. Kenny Perkins Sprint Car Driving Experience sponsoring the 27-year-old Mark Henry in the 58. Working our way through what should be the final group of qualifying. Looks like our My Race Pass has the spinning wheel of doom on it right now, so no times coming across the screen. Got to figure that 51 at Brady Bacon was pretty quick. We do have times, though, on FloRacing, it looks like. Brady Bacon, 18.754. Nate Shank, Racing Silva, Mark Henry, Rocky Silva, and Dalen Pereira, the cars out there on the track. Well, last night's feature winner, Brady Bacon, fast time in that group, 18.754. Nate Shank, 19.933. Racing Silva, Mark Henry, Rocky Silva, and Dalen Pereira rounding out the group there, and that should be the final cars for USCS qualifying. Thank you again to all the sponsors for adding in extra money, including Quick Change Liquid Energy, $100 to the overall Quick Time qualifier. Well, with that, we're going to go to a quick break on FloRacing and come back with much more here at the Sugar Bee Blackjack Bash.
Allgaier Performance is your one-stop shop for all your parts, tires, shocks, and fabrication needs. From drag strips to your local dirt track and asphalt tracks, Allgaier Performance can get what you need on track and into victory lane. Allgaier Performance is now the Midwest dealer for Longhorn chassis, complete with cars and genuine Longhorn parts and components.